All right, guys, I am going to go over substitution. I'm not going to go into a whole lot of detail because this should be just a review for you. I'll have a couple examples here in this video. If you need more help, let me know. Maybe I can upload a few more, or shoot me a reminder and I can help you work through it. So one of the things that you need to do first whenever you are solving by substitution is you need to solve for a variable. Now that confuses some people because you think that you're going to get something like x equals 2 or y equals 3. That's not what I mean. I mean that you need to get a variable by itself so that you have one variable on one side and then the equation on the other. That's what you're looking for. Because what we want to do is we want to plug in whatever's on the right-hand side of one equation into the other. So in this example here, we already have a variable that's solved for. So y is by itself, and we have what it's equal to over here on the right, negative 3x plus 5. That's how we find what y is equal to. So what we're actually going to do is we're going to plug this whole thing here into the other equation. Now that's important. You need to make sure that you put it into the other equation, or else you're going to get some weird stuff. So the first thing that I would recommend that you do is rewrite the equation that you're going to use. But instead of putting the variable that you're going to replace, use parentheses. Okay, so all I did was I took this equation, I rewrote it, but instead of having a y there, I put parentheses. And the reason I did it is because we're going to substitute for y using this equation down here. Now I'm going to take this whole thing and I'm going to plug it right down there in the bottom, negative 3x plus 5. Now, so from here, all you're going to do is simplify. So to do that, you're going to combine any like terms, and then you're going to solve. Okay, so here we need to distribute. Okay, if you don't use parentheses, a lot of times you'll miss this distribution step. So negative 3x, positive 8 times negative 3 is negative 24x, positive 8 times positive 5 is positive 40, is equal to negative 14. So now we're going to combine like terms, negative 3 minus 24, negative 27x plus 40. Now we can go ahead and solve for x by moving this 40 to the other side. Negative 27x is equal to negative 54. Divide each side by negative 27. X is equal to positive 2. Now I'm not done here. Remember, we're solving systems of equations. Systems of equations have solutions where your two graphs or your two lines intersect, okay, and that's a point x, y. So we only have the x, now we need to find y. So you can plug this x into either of these original equations over here. It doesn't matter which one you use. I would recommend that you use this one here, the second one, because it's already solved for y. All you'll have to do is plug in that x value and solve. If you plugged it into here, that's fine, but you'd have to do some more work in rearranging to get your y by itself. So y is equal to negative 3 times x plus 5. We know that x equals 2, so I substituted in there. Y is equal to negative 3 times 2 is negative 6 plus 5. Y is equal to negative 1. Okay, so our solution here is the point 2, negative 1. Now, again, the most important thing that you need to do is check your work. So in order to do that, you are going to plug in this point into each of these equations and look for a true solution. So I'll do one at a time. Negative 3x plus 8y is equal to negative 14. Negative 3 times x plus 8 times y is equal to negative 14. X is 2, y is negative 1, 3 times 2 is negative 6, 8 times negative 1 is negative 8, negative 6 minus 8 is negative 14. So that is a true statement. Oh, sorry guys. Okay, so we'll check again for the other one. Y is equal to negative 3x plus 5. So y is equal to negative 3 times x plus 5. Y is negative 1, x is 2. Go ahead and simplify here. Negative 1 is equal to negative 6 plus 5. Negative 1 is equal to negative 1. Okay, true statements. So because it works on both sides, we know that the point 2, negative 1 is in fact a solution. Okay, so once you checked your work, you're done and you can move on to the next problem. Okay, this is our next example here. We have 2x minus 5y is equal to 1. X plus 5y is equal to 8. So first step, you have to solve for a variable. You can solve for either x or y in either of the equations. It does not matter. Now what I like to do is look for the variable that's by itself, the one that doesn't have a coefficient. So both of these variables have coefficients in the first one. Here this x is by itself, so that's the one that I want to solve for. So I'm just going to rewrite it down here. X plus 5y equals 8. To solve for x, I'm going to move that 5y over. X is equal to 8 minus 5y, or negative 5y plus 8. It doesn't matter. Okay, so now I have two equations that I'm working with, this one and this one. Okay, I'm no longer working with this one. Okay, so don't try to plug this one back in here. Okay, that's a big mistake that happens often. So now I'm going to substitute this one into that one. So I have 2x minus 5y is equal to 1. I'm substituting for x, so that's where I'm going to put my parentheses. Rewrite this in here. Now you want to make sure that once you complete your substitution that you only have one variable. Okay, here I only have a y. That's the only variable that's in this equation. A lot of times some of you will do like inside this parentheses you'll put x equals 8 minus 5y, and then that's going to throw you off because you have two variables, and that's no bueno. Don't do that. So we only have one variable. Now we're going to simplify and combine like terms. So distribute here. 2 times 8 is positive 16. 2 times negative 5y is negative 10y, minus 5y is equal to 1. That came down, that came down. Combine like terms. 16 minus 15y is equal to 1. Now we can solve for y by subtracting 16 from each side. Negative 15y is equal to negative 15. Solve for y. Y is equal to 1. We're not done. Okay, we haven't solved for x. We need both of our variables solved for. So you can plug this y into any of the three equations that are here. You can plug it into this one, or this one. This is going to be the one that you want to plug it into because it's going to be less work. You already have x by itself. So x is equal to 8 minus 5y. X is equal to 8 minus 5 times 1. 8 minus 5. X is equal to 3. Okay, so our solution here is 3, 1. That's your answer. It's the point 3, 1. That is the point where the two lines will intersect. It's important that you know that. Now again, you always want to check your work. So we'll check it over here on the side. Okay, so we'll do one at a time. 2x minus 5y is equal to 1. 2 times 3 minus 5 times 1 is equal to 1. 6 minus 5 equals 1. 1 equals 1. True statement. So we're good. Let's check the other one. X plus 5y is equal to 8. 3 plus 5 times 1 is equal to 8. 3 plus 5 equals 8. 8 equals 8 is a true statement. So we know that this is in fact our answer, and we have completed this problem. So you could go ahead and move on to the next equation or problem if you need to. I have one more example for you. Okay, so this is example 3. It's my last example. We have negative 4x minus 2y is equal to 0, and negative 8x plus 2y is equal to 24. Now I'm checking here. Both of these have a coefficient. Both of these have a coefficient. So there's no easy way around this one. So from here, you just check to see which might be the easiest one to solve for. I'm going to use this one because it's equal to 0. So it's going to be a little bit less work. Now from here, you can choose to solve for any variable. You can solve for x or y. I'm going to solve for y. So I'm going to add x to both sides. Negative 2y is equal to 4x. Divide each side by negative 2. Y is equal to negative 2x. Okay, so these are my new equations that I'm working with. This is the one that I changed, so I don't want to use that one right now. I'm going to substitute this one into that one. Negative 8x plus 2 times y is equal to 24. Y is equal to negative 2x. Simplify. 2 times negative 2 is negative 4x. Combine like terms. Negative 8 minus 4 is negative 12. Divide both sides by negative 12. X is equal to negative 2. I'm not done. I have my x, I don't have my y. So I know that y is equal to negative 2x. I'm going to plug in my value for x there. Y is equal to positive 4. Okay, so here I'm finding that my solution is negative 2, 4. That is the point of intersection. Make sure that you guys are understanding that. So if I have two lines that represent these two equations, that point of intersection there is negative 2, 4, just like in the graphic. Okay, sorry. So if you have two lines that intersect at a point, that point is negative 2, 4. Okay, that's what we're working with. Last thing you want to do is check your work. So I'm going to start with negative 4x minus 2y is equal to 0. That's this equation here. And I'm going to plug in my values. Negative 4 times x minus 2 times y is equal to 0. Negative 2 and 4. Negative 4 times negative 2 is positive 8. Negative 2 times positive 4 is negative 8. 8 minus 8 is 0, so that's a true statement. Then we check the other equation. Negative 8x plus 2y equals 24. Negative 8 times negative 2 plus 2 times positive 4 equals 24. Negative 8 times negative 2 is positive 16. 2 times 4 is 8. 16 plus 8 is 24. Another true statement. So we know that this is in fact a solution, and we are correct. Sorry about that. So that's it for this lesson. If you have any questions, feel free to let me know. Shoot me a remind. You know how to get a hold of me. The next video is on elimination, which is similar. Feel free to watch it. Otherwise, go ahead and do your Khan Academy homework.